here. Here's the house. Come on, little baby. All right. Boom, 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 boom. Doing something so right. Oh, I know a place, y'all. I'll take you there. Ain't nobody crying. I'll take you there. Ain't nobody worried. I'll take you there. Nobody faces. I'll take you there. Fly to the rain. I'll take you there. Oh, I'll take you there. Oh, I'll take you there. Mercy now. I'll take you there. Calling for mercy. I'll take you there. Mercy, mercy. I'll take you there. I'll take you there. Oh, I'll take you there. I wanna take you there. Just take me by my hand. Let me lead. See the way. Oh, I'll take you there. Let me take you there. I'll take you there. Let me take you there. I'll take you there. Ain't no smiling faces. I'll take you there. Up in here, lying jewelry. I'll take you there. You got let me. I'll take you there. Take you over there. I'll take you there. Oh, all right. I'll take you there. Oh, all right. I'll take you there. Oh, I'll take you there. Oh, yeah, I'll take you there. Oh, yeah, I'll take you there.
Good morning. Good morning. I know a place, and I'll take you there. Dr. Matthew Jones, I'm glad to be able to come to you. Good morning, Baltimore. Good morning, Delaware, D.C. Good morning, America. It is indeed a blessing to be able to come to you this morning. We know that we are in the midst of a special weekend. This is yesterday was Good Friday, where we were blessed with tremendous presentations from several pastors and ministers here, and it was a spiritual and rejoiceful occasion. Not only that, following these services, they served, as I indicated, one of the best fish meals that one could eat.
Oh my God, did y'all save me a piece? I forgot about the fish fry.
So they celebrated eating after the meal with all of the ministers and all of the congregations.
Mm-hmm.
They ate and celebrated, and now they're making preparation for Easter Sunday morning. Easter Sunday morning, as you know, we have 6 o'clock services, with sunrise services, 6 o'clock.
Oh, y'all still doing sunrise? A lot of churches done away with that sunrise.
We having the sunrise services at 6 o'clock, and following the sunrise services, we will be serving you breakfast and get you ready for the 10 o'clock service. So we have 2 services tomorrow morning. We know that you come early so you can make sure you get a seat. Before we know the people are going to turn out, we know the Concordians going to turn out, and the community
Yes.
going to turn out for that early morning. See, this is a special service. It's a service that expresses gratitude. You're grateful. You know, you're making that early morning sacrifice because you're grateful. You're showing your gratitude to God for the provisions that He has provided for us. And that's why this season is so important, because this season represents the ultimate purpose of our being as Christians.
That's it.
And therefore, we are willing to make that sacrifice to have two major services. I know back before the pandemic, we had two services going back earlier, but this will be the first time after the pandemic that we will have two major services. One at 6 o'clock, that sunrise services at 6 o'clock, and presentations will be made. And following the 6 o'clock services, we will serve you breakfast, and that'll be about 8:30. And following that 8:30 breakfast services that we will serve you, we will have the 10 o'clock worship, our regular 10 o'clock worship service. Where we
Are you doing both services, Dr. Jones?
I am doing both services.
Oh, look at you. Okay.
Done both services. A substitute death for the first message, because he died in our stead. A substitute death.
Substitute death, that's the subject line?
That's the subject for the first sermon.
Substitute death, okay.
He died in our stead. He substituted for our death. And the second service, surrounded. You have to come here what that surrounded means.
Okay.
Being surrounded.
Being surrounded, and that's connected with the resurrection?
That is the resurrection. Being surrounded.
Being surrounded. Okay. I'm feeling the topic.
Yeah, that's
Sounds
the resurrection. You got to come see what it is,
Obviously.
You won't know what it is unless you come hear the story.
Oh my God. And how was the play? First of all, good morning to everyone. Of course, this is one of your favorite co-hosts, Jamie, Christon. You know you're listening to. I know a place and I want to take you there. And of course, I like to say we know a place and we'd like to take you there. And so, Dr. Jones, you did not, how was the play?
It was tremendous. Tremendous turnout.
Yeah.
Almost had a full house. And the presentation, they still talking about it. People have called me because it was showed on YouTube and Facebook. People are calling me from out of the country, out of the state and across the country, talking about that presentation of the play.
Shout out to Ramona.
Yes, it was a tremendous presentation, and Joy, it was amazing. It was an upper room. They focused on the upper room, which was days before the crucifixion, when Jesus met with his disciples in the upper room, and it was very effective, very demonstrative, and with a great message behind it. And the youth and the kids and the young people and the adults, it was a mixture of children, young people, adults in that play, and all of them did a tremendous job.
Yeah, shout out to all the participants, all the actors.
This is the last weekend of Women's History Month.
Women's History Month, it's definitely coming to a close.
Yes, and I had a couple of, one major concerns I want to kind of mention.
Okay.
This lady, this is a lady from Fort Worth, Texas, Crystal Mason.
Okay.
Crystal Mason had been in jail or something. She had served some time, and she had gotten out, and she went to vote. And they said that they gave her a provisional ballot, where she will have the opportunity to check to see whether or not it's authorized for her to vote with that provisional ballot. And after, of course, the story is that when she got the provisional ballot and presented, she never really voted. But due to the fact that she had this history of track record on her, they charged her. They charged her for voting illegal, even though she really didn't vote. And they convicted her for voting for 5 years sentence.
5 years?
5 years. They convicted her for 5 years. We're talking about Crystal Mason in Fort Worth, Texas. They convicted her. The ACLU, which is the organization, the legal organization that represented her, last week, the detective, the second court appeal reversed the conviction. Now, the conviction took place in 2016. In 2016, she was put in jail. She was in jail for 10 months before she was able to get out and start the appeal. This is
all from voting. This is
all from just not really voting. She used the provisional ballot. They gave her a provisional ballot. She told them what her situation was. It wasn't something that she was trying to pull off. She told them what her situation was, and so they gave her a provisional ballot to use. And she, of course, she must have filled out the provisional ballot, and then they will observe it to see whether or not it could be voted. She could use it as a vote, and she could not use it as a vote. She did not use it as a vote. But they still convicted her.
For what, though? What's the charge?
For using the provisional ballot as attempted to vote, I suppose. That's the only thing that she did, so that's right to be the charge. The point I'm making is the courts, the appeal court said that she was not legally treated. It was not a legal conviction. So it was basically an attempt to, and note this went on since 2016. This was an attempt to try to have major influences upon the black community to not take any kind of chances in voting because they can accuse you of any kind of thing and they can put you in jail for 5 years.
Wow.
So it really was an attempt to influence black voters. That's what the main thing was. Anyway, the point I'm making is that last week the Court of Appeal reversed the sentence and said it was an illegitimate sentence, and they reversed it, and she has been made free of the charge. Now this has been going on since 2016. She was in jail for 10 months. She lost her good job. She lost her home. She lost all of this stuff, all because of attempted to vote.
Wow. I just can't even imagine that.
And so I just wanted to salute her, and because let me tell you what she has done since she has been out of jail. She has pulled together an organization of community people, and they are going through the community, finding out who is able to vote and who can vote and who. She has been throughout Fort Worth, doing registration and doubling the number of black people who have registered in that city before. So she took advantage. Now she took advantage of the. In other words, Romans 8:28 says everything works together for good for those that love the Lord. That negative thing that happened to her, she has turned it around and took action and gave her, in spite of the fact that she lost her home, she lost her job, and lost all this money and everything that she lost. I said if I knew how to send her some money, I would.
Right, yeah, in real life.
I don't have that source of how you can make a contribution. I'm not here talking about her, but to try to raise her any money or not. I'm talking about her because this is a Women Month.
Yeah.
And I think this needs to be recorded.
Highlighted, yeah.
Part of the History Month, the experience that this woman, first of all, went through, and now she has turned it around and taken actions to help the community and guiding individuals who may have problems and helping them to understand not to even go to the poll if you have this kind of problem. But if you don't have the problem, she is registering you and fixing it so that you can make sure that you vote.
That's good.
So she's getting it to this community in advance, how to avoid it and how to deal with it and how to take advantage of the disaster that took place. So we give highly salute to Crystal
Miss Christon.
Mason.
Yep. And
Crystal
you said, where is she at again, and where?
Fort Worth, Texas.
Fort Worth, Texas.
Fort Worth, Texas. Now, if she is listening, I want to say congratulations on your efforts. We support you in your efforts that you are doing now. registered and supporting individuals throughout your community. I want to congratulate you. That is evidence that you have the power of God in you. We celebrate with you. We just want to know, we want to let you know here in Maryland, we got your message, and we are celebrating with you.
That is amazing. Yep. Shout out for Women's History Month. I think that's a big deal because we talk about all the people that are known and that already have the notoriety, but it's very few times where you can get these genuine and authentic, not saying that the other ones aren't, highlights of individuals, especially women during the Women's History Month that are doing the work, right? And so people, if you've never listened to our show before, again, it's called I Know a Place and I Will Take You There. And this is a mentor strategy program designed by Dr. Jones, who you just heard from. And so he believes that this strategy will ultimately reduce crime, right? And so it's like 3 stages. And what we've been doing, for over a year at this point, we've been connecting with lots of parishioners, pastors, leaders in the community, and business owners, and from all the way from assisted living, which is the business Dr. Jones has, and all of the other people, to lawyers and to contractors and to just all of these people that are entrepreneurs that are willing to mentor other people. And so what we like to do is, one, of course, bring back together the church and the minority businesses, right? Because we know that the church is the strongest economic entity in our communities. And if we bring back together those minority businesses, and really any business that's in our community, and connect with them, we'll be able to level set, right, and mentor young men and women in our churches and in our communities at large that have an interest or have a business or have a talent, and they need to flourish it and get to next level, right, to the next level. And so that's the first stage, right? We want to bring back together the church, the businesses, and find individuals, no matter your age, who want to start a business.
But we don't want to continue to separate economics and spirituality.
No, yet they're one and the same.
Yeah, because all of Jesus' major miracles, if you look at it effectively, they were economic miracles.
I love when you put it that way.
They were economic miracles. When the woman was healed with the issue of blood, she'd been sick for 12 long years. That means that she no longer had to spend the money going to the doctors after that. That was an economic move for the wedding, when he first miracle he did when he changed water to wine. They ran out of wine because they didn't have enough money to have wine to supply for that wedding services. He turned water to wine. That saved them in economic.
Yeah.
You can go right down the line, feeding 5,000, that's an economic move.
Right, yes. Especially if everybody has some fish and some bread, that part.
So the church, sometime back there have been a time when we want to not to involve this, afraid that the federal government or the taxes or something that church will be affected by the invasion of the government if you involve too much in economics. But we can't afford to not deal with the life, the conditions and the life of the people that are worshiping in our congregation. And we need to identify those who are businesses, and we need to encourage the members of the congregation to give support to those individuals in our congregations who have businesses sitting right there with them, probably can do a better job than those businesses they're going on the outside getting. You need to give support to those businesses right there in your congregation. But not only do the congregation, do you need to give support to those businesses right there in your congregation. There are minority businesses right around your church, in your community. You need to get out there, find out who own those businesses, talk to those individuals, invite them into your congregation to meet your parishioners, and encourage them, your parishioners, to support those minority businesses that are right there in your community, right around your church. We need to make our spirituality real. We got to stop having phony spirituality. That's what I'm saying.
Phony spirituality.
Yeah, if it's not concrete and not dealing with if it's not strengthening the lives of individuals, it's phony. Spirituality is to strengthen the lives of individuals, not just joy, happy, making them happy. It's more than that. Strengthen them in every aspect, psychological, physiological, in every aspect of their life, economically. That's what spirituality is supposed to do. But I did want to mention some other women that we had already talked about. Mary Jane McLeod Bethune. We talked about her earlier.
Nice.
Mary Jane McLeod Bethune.
Bethune.
Bethune-Cookman University.
Yeah, I know about the Bethune-Cookman
Bethune-Cookman.
University.
You remember, we told the story about how the struggle she went through. She was a great educator. Came out of born in the 1800s. Came out, her parents were slaves. And she came out of a slave family. That lets you know how strong, just because people were slaves did not mean that they didn't have purpose and strength and knowledge and understanding. We want to, that's what shocked after the Civil War, the smartness of the blacks, that's what shocked them, and they had to put forth all those Jim Crow laws, because he saw that folks were too smart and too intelligent and too strong, so they made laws to prevent them from succeeding. Jim Crow laws. That's why they made those Jim Crow laws.
And they worked.
We managed to get around those too. We managed to deal with them and advance ourselves. My folks still owned a whole lot of land, always through them Jim Crow laws, and still educated a lot of their children.
But you guys are like a small percentile. The Jim Crow laws destroyed our communities.
That's why they have Black Wall Street. That's why these different Miami, Florida, and those different places. That's why they had them those Black Wall Street were people who came out of slavery and, instructed themselves economically and worked together. And
they destroyed it. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There were laws and stuff they did to try to destroy it because they were surprised that they would come out so strong. And but we talking about Mary Clyde Bethune right now.
Yeah.
She I told the story before how she Procter & Gamble, the head of Procter & Gamble. She encouraged them. She was trying to get this ground and get this school going. And she, of course, some religious organizations, the Methodists and some of the religious organizations also were helping. But she was trying to get this school going, and she got Procter & Gamble, the head of Procter & Gamble, to come down to see where the school is. He thought he was coming to see where the school was. But when he got there, she took him to a dump, out on this dump, and she says, "Can you see that beautiful school sitting out there?" He was so impressed with her conviction and her understanding and her determination that they gave great support in order to develop that school that we call Bethune-Cookman University. So we salute. She was a great educator. This is for the educators. This reference this month, Women's Month, but for all of the great educators. We recognize in the church on our educational Sunday, we had over 40 or 50 teachers, educators, some teachers, some have been principals, some whatever. We recognized them and gave all kind of certificates to over 40-some educators right here in this congregation. So this was a salute to the great educators that we, of course, we also talked about Harriet Tubman, the Underground Railroad, and we know that she was not the only supplier of people who were traveling, getting out of slavery on the Underground Railroad. We highlight her, but there were many other individuals.
Tons of other individuals.
There were any other individuals who were making that same passage. Matter of fact, the Underground Railroad was already set up before she made that passage.
Oh yeah, you did tell me that when we talked about it.
It was already set up.
Weeks ago.
Yeah, so she was her brother was instrumental in helping her to understand how to take advantage of the Underground Railroad. So we salute her.
We definitely gonna salute her.
Family need to understand that they have a part to play in the lives of everyone in the family.
Agreed.
So we saluted her. We saluted also. We saluted Shirley Chisholm. Shirley Chisholm. This is one of the persons that I had a chance to work along with back in the 70s in Virginia.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I remember you mentioning that before.
Yeah, I had acquaintance with her. She was a great lady. She was the first black lady in Congress. She was elected in 1968. 1968. And so we have saluted her. She also ran for president. That's when I was involved with her, when she ran for president of the United States. So we have saluted her this month. She become an illustration. She become an illustration of many other black women who have made it into Congress. We have had a black woman not only just made it to Congress and into the Senate. We have had a black woman to make it into the Congress, make it into the Senate, and make it also to vice president.
And to the Supreme Court, let's be clear.
Yeah, well, I was there. I was talking about the Congress, but the one in the Supreme Court didn't come through the Congress.
Well, no, she didn't come through it. No, you're right about that.
Yeah.
Nope, you're right.
But we do have a black woman who made it into the Supreme Court.
Yeah.
I suppose I'll talk about the rest of these women that we talked about after the song that is coming. It's time to make a change.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to have that song come right now. It's time to make a change because we are the people and we can do it. We are the people and we can do it. We have to know the only way we can do it is if we pull together. Pull together. And that's what we are pushing. Pulling together from sea to shiny sea. It's time to make a change.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up? I'm gonna kick it with mine, y'all know. Yo, Slim, can I kick it right here? Here we go. Well, it's time to make that change. People of the world today are fading. All of us have our ups and downs. You better think about it or you won't be around. What we need is a little bit of love. Sent by one from heaven up above. Take it from T, it's simple and plain. This ain't no game, you know what I'm saying? What? It's time. Yep, yep. Time to make some change. Here we go. We are the people who can do it. Oh, yeah. It's time. Time to make some change. We are the people who can do it. Yo, Mob, kick it for me one time.
What is the world coming to? Seems like everyone is running from the truth.
Yep, yep.
We got scared up and fine, walking through the night. We're the people, we can do it if we try. I know we can do it. Somebody ask me, why do we have to go through it? It's such a test of our faith. Oh, we're living day to day. We don't know where, we don't know when, but it's coming from again. It's time.
About that time.
Time to make some change. We are the people who can do it. It's up to you. It's time.
It's about that time, y'all.
Time to make some change. We are the people who can do
Yo,
it.
Mob, kick it for me one more time.
Jesus is spreading mighty fast. It's earthquakes are moving through the land. It ain't nothing but a sign that it make up our mind. We're the people, we can do it if we try. I know we can do it. Somebody ask me, what do we have to go through it? It's just a test of our faith. Just living day by day. Don't know when, don't know when. But it's coming
You know what?
It's time.
About that time, y'all.
Time to make some change.
Yep, yep.
We are the people who can do it. It's time. Time to make some change. We are the people who can do it.
Here we go. Well, it's time to make that change. People of the world today are fading. All of us have our ups and downs. You better think about it or you won't be around. What we need is a little bit of love. Sent by one from heaven up above. Take a pity, it's simple and plain. This ain't no game, you know what I'm saying?
I know we can do it.
Here we go.
What do we have to go through it? It's just a test of our faith. We're living day by day. Don't know when, don't know when.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. It's about that time, y'all.
Time to make some change.
That's right.
We are the people who can do it.
Together to make that change. About that time.
We are back once again. I was talking about Shirley Chisholm. She was out of New York. She out of New York. She also was an educator too. She did in the early years worked in the school system and in the political position in New York, and of course she moved on to having a political position in the United States Congress, to becoming the first black woman to serve in the United States Congress. I assume that she probably was the first also black woman to run for president of the United States. So that was one of the persons that I was blessed to be able to get acquainted with, to work along with, and be able to identify. It was during that period of time also, I had come out of Chicago working with Operation Breadbasket. That was in Chicago with Jesse Jackson. That was a big thing at that time. We were doing a whole lot of stuff. We were meeting, and it was a major thing going on in Chicago at that particular time. And so I came out of Chicago, and that was in 72 when Shirley Chisholm came into Virginia when she was running. 72. She came Congress, went into Congress in 68. In 72, around 72, 71, 72, those years she was running for president. And that's when I got acquainted with her.
Okay.
Yeah. And the next, so the other women are the women that the other women are the women that I had direct acquainted with.
Uh-huh.
That I had direct acquaintance
Oh,
with.
women that you have had direct contact with.
Yeah, there was Shirley Chisholm. Another one was Henrietta Doswell. We talked about her.
You love Henrietta Doswell.
Henrietta Doswell was a tremendous, well, she was one of the first, the Jewel Gospel Singers, one of the first groups that was on black group.
Right.
In 1960. She had a television series. They sang. They was a tremendous singing group. Can you imagine, number one group in the country at the time, gospel group.
Of course. And they were rolling with you.
No, I didn't know her at that time.
Okay.
I didn't meet her until the 70s. It was in 70s because her home was in Virginia. That's when I came to Virginia, and she was working as an administrator with an insurance, one of the first black insurance companies. She was one of the administrators for that. And I think I got acquainted with her when I was doing motivation speaking for insurance companies.
Okay.
And I came to this insurance company to do motivation speaking, and one of the agents said to me, "If you think it's so easy, why don't you do it?"
I think this is the one that you showed him, right? And you wound up excelling through the company?
Yeah,
okay.
So I took up the challenge, and I went to the vice president, the president of the company. He said, "No, you can't do it. You got to be licensed to sell it. You got to, you got to be." I said, "Well, give me the book and stuff and what I need to study, and I will study it and take the test and get the license."
Yeah, of course you would.
Yeah, so it was that experience when I had accounting with her. Of course, you know the rest of the story. I illustrated. I discovered that I had a God-given gift to sell.
You had a God-given gift to sell.
I did not know it. It's amazing what the Lord would do. Now I'm at this particular point. I had I'd finished the doctoral program. But I did not know I had the gift to sell, and there was 5 of us at the university at the same time. We using one meal card. And I said to myself, when I discovered I had the gift to sell, if I had have known it back then.
Yeah, so you would have been already on point.
I would have been set up. I would have been able to take care, instead of having one meal card, like all my brothers that was in the universities, we could have had.
You would have had all of it, right? Yes.
But anyway, it was there that I got acquainted, and I was later, and then I became director with the Southern Baptist Convention. That's the white convention. Director of mission there, community center in Richmond, and she was working in the community, pulling together kids and families and stuff. And that's when I discovered the power that she had, and it was her influence when I left the black church and was called to this white church. she was the one that was instrumental in bringing all these individuals into that white church in 9 months' time.
Yeah.
There were so many of black women that came into that church in 9 months' time.
It was a tons of them. It sounds
Yeah,
like,
and that war broke out in there, and I was escorted. That's my 9 months with the white church.
No,
I was
they actually
escorted
leave?
out.
Oh, no. They did not ask for you to leave. No
I always
way.
said this is the one I left off my resume.
This is the one you kept off the resume, as you should have. That is
But
a good
but she then I was working with St. Paul. You know, St. Paul, one of the major churches in Richmond now. I was working with St. Paul at one while after that, and working with St. Paul, I wrote a play for the children. I was over the children and stuff. I wrote this play, and I had this play where children were sitting in the audience, and one child would come into the congregation, and he would act like he was drunk and stuff. One of the young men, and the deacon jumped up and rushed him out. And when they did that, this young girl, lady was sitting there. She jumps up. Oh, this was part of the play.
Okay, good. Okay, I'm like, wait a minute. Okay, is this
It was
the
part
part
of
of the
the
play?
play.
Or am I getting nervous here? Okay, good, okay.
The
So-
congregation didn't know it though.
Oh, this is the part of the
Yeah.
okay.
And she jumped up and said, "You can't help him." And she made her speech. How can you help me? She was a young woman, you know, young girl.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't help him. How can you help me? And she,
Moment.
and it really opened the eyes of the church. And then we ended up one of the strongest community youth organizations that moved through the community, because the church realized then that they had to really understand how to deal with their lives. But she saw that, got a part of that play, and created a play that went nationally called The Churches in the Valley.
Oh, went viral. Okay.
Yeah,
national.
Churches
Okay,
in the
so next
Valley. So
level.
she did the Churches in the Valley, and I kind of worked along with them, you know, a little while,
Yeah.
directing it. But she did the Churches in the Valley that they sold out major auditoriums across this country. They called Churches in the Valley.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and then all these people she brought together, and she was this past couple months ago, she was given an honorary doctorate degree. I happily got in on it.
Okay.
She was given an honorary doctorate degree, and she will be celebrating her 90th birthday on July the 12th.
July 12th?
Yeah,
Okay.
so we give a salute to Olivia Henrietta Doswell, Dr. Olivia Henrietta Doswell. And the last person I gave special salute to was to Gertrude Jones. You know Gertrude Jones, don't you?
No, tell me a little about her.
Gertrude Jones is my mother.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay, hold on.
My father died when I was 14, and she had to take over all the land that he had and all of
All
the
the
major
businesses and the
operations.
property?
Yeah, and she did a tremendous job. Remember, I was only 14, and there was 6 younger than me and 7 older than me.
Okay.
So, and when the older one get a certain age, they had to go off to school. Harvard and Emma went to Mississippi to go to high school. And ultimately, when I got a little older, I went to high school, of course, with my older sister living in Memphis, Tennessee. So I went to Mitchell Road. Let me throw out Mitchell Road.
Mitchell. All the places we know nothing about, Dr. Jones, but
Mitchell
okay,
Road,
Mitchell Road.
Somebody may be listening from Mitchell Road in Memphis, Tennessee.
God, no.
But anyway, she did a tremendous job in educating us, telling us. See, my father was a college graduate, went to Arkansas Baptist College, and she was saying, your father's the educated man, and every one of you all are going to school. So she represents these type of principles and demonstrated certain kind of principles. And I talk about in 1937, my oldest brother was born, and that's before Rosa Parks. She refused to get out the bus from the front of the bus with her baby in her arm. She sat down in the front of the bus, and
Who baby now?
my mother. She
Okay,
had her,
yes,
my
okay.
oldest brother
Okay.
in 1937. He was a baby, and she was originally from Camden, Mississippi, right outside of Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay, that wasn't, yeah.
The
I'm
Southerns,
familiar.
out of the Southern family. The Southern family was a strong African family out of Nigeria.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And
it's a Southern family. They own,
sorry, y'all. We don't know
and
that.
Cajun
Okay.
Southern, back in the 50s, owned an oil well, even in Mississippi. So she was out of that family. But she went back home and coming from that over there, she had her baby in her arm and took a seat in the front of the bus because it was the only seat, and they going to make her get up, and of course she refused, and they left her alone because of forcefulness and that forceful attitude. They said they excused her by saying, "Oh, she's just crazy. Leave her alone." So I want to, put that in the record that she did refuse before Rosa Parks to get up out of the front of the bus. So we salute Gertrude Jones, who was born in February the 22nd. Of course, my birthday is February the 20th. I was her birthday present.
You were her birthday present. Yeah, right after Valentine's Day. You were her baby love.
February the 22nd, she was born.
Uh-huh.
And I was born February the 20th. And she after one of the things that go through my family is Alzheimer's. And her mother died young with Alzheimer's. And when she became 80 years old, she started being affected with Alzheimer's. And she went to my sisters that went to school, college in California. She went there and lived with them for a little while. When I went out there, I felt that my facility could serve her better.
Serve her better, yeah.
So I brought her back to my facility in 1990.
I just love how that worked full circle, though. Like,
Yeah.
you were born in a family of entrepreneurs. Your mom held the family down after your dad. Like, all the things. Like, you guys had a full circle life of, supporting each other and taking care of each other. And then look at you. You said you were 14, right? When
I
your
was
dad
14 when my father
You had to
passed.
step up, help your mom run a household, run a business, and then turned around. You guys kept all the land.
I was doing the payroll.
Yeah,
Because my
kept
father
the
was a
private-
great mathematician, and he taught me. See.
He taught you how to do math. He taught you how to make sure the money
he
was right.
Yeah, he was a great master. So that calculation, I was able to do it for my mother, and we had a lot of land. We had people working for us, so I did the payroll. And hired people at 14, 15. I was hired people. I fired some folks at 14.
Well, that's the point I was making. We making it all the way back to 2023. You still doing the same thing. You still doing payroll. You hiring. You firing people with all the things, right? Okay, so that's a good thing. But the fact that you were able to take care of your mom.
She came in 95 and
Yeah.
stayed, and she passed in 99.
Yeah.
In
but
my
that-
facility. She
Yeah,
passed in
that
my
you were
facility.
able to create a business. Who would have ever thought that you would, later on down the road, create a business and have that much infrastructure to be able to take care of your mom?
Yeah,
With
it was
the things
amazing.
that were instilled in you when you were 14 years
Yeah, it
old.
was amazing,
Yeah.
because I had originally had no interest in assisted living. And what motivated me was here at Concord, I went to visit some family members. And this lady right here in Woodlawn had got a large, big, nice, beautiful home where she had bought early on to living, and this time I went to see her there, and she was there. A year or so later, I found out that she had moved into a boarding house because she had got sick and couldn't stay in her house. And I went to see her in that boarding house,
Don't tell me about that.
and the conditions were so bad. And I asked the Lord, what should I do?
What should I do?
And he said, and the Lord said, you already know what you do.
Well, you look, I'm about to tell God again. I'm about to say, as soon as we get off the air, I'm going to say, Lord, what should I do? And I want him to spark it in my brain and automatically tell me I know what I should be doing. I love it.
So fortunately, I started working with a nurse here that was working in the community, and she started working, and I got knowledge about the facilities, and I bought this property over in Catonsville. And meanwhile, before I could have a facility there was right here on Essex Road, there was a 15-bed unit that this white lady owned, and she wanted to sell it. And I took over her 15-bed unit here. That was the first one. When I first started, I was working along with the nurse. And helping her with some facilities. But that's the way I got involved in doing the facilities, trying to do, make sure not. And I know our facility in Catonsville is one of the best, most effective service facility in the state. And it's one of the, not only the best service, it's the best looking, best the cleanest, it's very designed, real nice. It's in a exceptional location, and impressive when you pull up to it. It's everything. And not only that, we attempt to provide the best type of everything in the facility. We even have a $10,000, what you call it, machine on the outside. If the lights go out, a generator. Lights go out, this generator will automatically come on. And so they are protected in case of the current goes out. They don't have to worry about not having current, being cold or being too hot, because the generator automatically comes on and take care of that. You know, I went even to the extent of providing any kind of additional services possible that they could have as a resident in the facility. And we have been blessed to be able to serve in Catonsville. It's a 15-bed unit as well, and we have been able to serve quite a few people. Thanks to the fact that it was in Catonsville where my mother lived, in the facility there, and where she passed. So we salute Gertrude Jones. Gertrude Jones. Those were the women that we are saluted this month, during the Women's History Month. And we also have sitting here with us Miss Johnson, who has her own business.
That is true.
Miss Johnson will tell us about her business. I just talked about the one that, well, I said my mother influenced me and having the attitude.
You know, when you talked about it, I was sitting here, I was like, you know what? My mom influenced me with my business, because I'll tell you, I never thought in a million years I would have a cleaning business. And so when I was young, my mom, every weekend, like that was a thing. Before you can go out, you can do anything. Before choir rehearsal, before anything, you had to get up and do your chores. And my mom was meticulous about cleaning. Like, she would come by with her finger. If it was any dust, I mean, it could not be nothing on the baseboards. My mom was a cleaning machine. She trained us how to clean, so she told us how to do everything, and then she was like the Inspector Gadget. And so it's funny that they say all the talents and the things that you need, God instills in us from when we're young. Like, they're always in your, like they say your talents are in your house. Everything you need is in your house. That's like a metaphor, but it means it's already within you. Like,
right.
It's been instilled in you. And so I would not believe that I would have a cleaning business. And then I met someone who was already thinking about the business and was starting to do it. And then when he realized that I cleaned and I knew how to clean better and I had like the infrastructure, the business stuff, he's like, you know what, you should do this. And so it just grew from there. And I mean, I'm 7 years into the business, but outside of that business, you know, I've had boutiques and stores and consignment shops, and that's all been trained from
talk shows.
Yeah, talk shows, all the things, right? I don't know,
But
radio,
let's
TV, just all the things, right?
Let's emphasize, you have a cleaning. Did you all hear that? She has a cleaning business.
I do have a commercial cleaning business.
Now, and I know a lot of members right here in this church and a lot of churches like to have somebody to do their cleaning for them. She is effective cleaner. She's effective cleaning business.
And we like to look at ourselves, we like to patent ourselves as luxury cleaning services.
Did you hear that? Luxury cleaning service.
That part, that's right.
I think you need to give your phone number now.
That's the part that I knew I was getting to that I did not want to get to, that I was going to avoid. So listen, it's called Proper Solutions Group, MD, because I want to be able to expand to other states, and so I am open to connect with other people. So I call this Proper Solutions Group, MD, because this is the Maryland location, right? And so you can reach me at 240-972-4744. That is 240-972-4744. Email address super long, but it's info@propersolutionsgroupmd.com. Exactly how you can spell it. Or you can just follow me on social media and send me a message. It's Jamie, JAMIE _Chris, CRISS. that will be me. Thanks, Dr. Jones.
Okay, the time is running out, but let me salute the National Minority Women Organization is coming here on May the 18th, and we have people coming out of different cities. We have a lot of honorary doctor degrees being given. I think they have 20 people coming out of Atlanta. That following Sunday morning, the guest preacher for the day will be out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the 18th. It's going to be a celebration starting at 10 o'clock that morning with salute, and it will be a play presented at 1 o'clock. So there's major activities. Be sure to put it on your calendar. Those who have not joined the Minority Women Organization, do so. You can call 410-367-1117 to talk to Roxanne, and she will hook you up with the person who is the state representative for that organization, who happened to be a minister who is a member of the Concord Baptist Church. So we encouraging you to be sure to put it on your records, because it's going to be a major event. We're going to be sending invitations to all of the political officials. We hope our governor will be able to come to this event with the national women. We'll send them an invitation. We're going to send Kamala Harris an invitation. We want to invite Kamala Harris. This is a national women organization. We'll be here. It's imperative that Kamala Harris take it seriously to be here. We're going to invite all of you, but it's going to be a major presentation being done. You must not miss it. Put it on your calendar. We want ABC, NBC, all of these announcement people, TV program to be present as well as the presentation being made. I know a place.
And I'll take you there. That's it right there. So I do have one announcement. So Erica just texted me. That's what I'm kind of reading. So we did not get a chance. Her guy was supposed to call in that is hosting the event today or whatever. So I feel kind of bad because I'm like, this is terrible. Ricky Dillard's in town because he's doing the concert at New Antioch tomorrow, right? So I just want to give them a quick shout out.
We have some members going to be going. Those tickets that we have some members. We'll be going to New Antioch this evening.
So, it's tomorrow, right? We're going tomorrow.
I mean, tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
I'm sorry. Tomorrow evening. Yeah.
Easter Sunday service. So again, it's called, this is H3 Management and Miss Erica J. They're presenting a Baltimore Easter celebration, and this is featuring Ricky Dillard and New G. And so this is going to be a live concert, of course, tomorrow, March 31st, Easter afternoon, Easter evening. Doors open at 5:30. Concert starts at 6:30. I mean, you have James Hall, the Worship and Praise. You have Eric Waddell and Abundant Life Singers. You got Bree Holly and Faithful. Of course, that's the Corsets. You know the people like the Corsets and music. And then you got Kevin Terry and his whole entire entourage. And so this is going to be at New Antioch of Randallstown. Again, New Antioch of Randallstown, 5609 Oak Court Road. And the tickets, let's be clear, I have to be clear. It's only $25 for general admission, $35 for VIP. You can get tickets as early as 4 p.m. tomorrow at New Antioch. So you can go grab your tickets, go grab dinner, come back. And shout out to Reverend Dr. Kenneth Barney, Sr., who is the host pastor at New Antioch, just for allowing something of this magnitude to come to his church.
If I'm not too tired after tomorrow, I will be there.
You gotta let me know. I'm at the bug you and give you a little nudge or whatever. But this is amazing. So shout out to Ricky Dillard. He has a new album, which is Choir Master 2. It was just released, so pick up his album. I'm sure you'll get some much love tomorrow. And he was opening. He was in the opening scene and did a vocal arrangement for The Color Purple. So shout out to Ricky Dillard for his premiere in The Color Purple. Like, this is a big deal. And so he's gonna be live. Full in concert tomorrow. You can purchase tickets again, 4 p.m., New Antioch from the bookstore, and we're ready to go. And let's go. Shout out to Erica J. It's Women's History Month, so Erica J., you're once again breaking history and doing the daggone thing again. So thank you, Dr. Jones, for keeping this platform going for us. You've been listening to I Know a Place.
And
I want to take you there on 106.1 Praise FM. Shout out to Kathy Hughes for being the amazing woman she is.
Good day.
Yep.
I know a place. Ain't nobody crying. Ain't nobody worried. Ain't no smiling faces.
Small businesses like mine keep this country moving forward. But every day, it feels like Washington is not looking out for us. We're done with career politicians. We need someone who's going to fight for us. That's why I'm voting for Congressman David Trone to be Maryland's next senator. He grew his business by putting people over profit. He was one of the first CEOs to ban the buys that punished returning citizens for past mistakes and denied them jobs. He helped pay for his employees'